Alright everybody, we got an anime update here on the channel, and it's kind of a sad one, to be honest. Welcome back. This is Jake, this is New Level Rising. I'm talking about today an update on sort of a recap of everything I finished from the anime season previous, which in this case was, I suppose, summer 2025, and then a preview of everything I'm going to check out here in this coming season, which in this case is going to be fall 2025. And normally, these should be more interesting and more just full of anime goodness. Today, this is a lighter one for various reasons. If you've been watching the channel, that if you only watch these anime videos, you probably won't know because I just haven't talked about it much, in those. But if you watch my normal videos, you would probably realize I have been very busy. I've been very swamped. I've been very stressed. There's a lot of external life, work, university things going on. And so I just haven't had very much time. I started the summer season. I was watching, Dr. Stone and Gachi Akuta, Sakamoto Days. What's the other? My Dress Up Darling. There was a bunch. I'm even forgetting a bunch. Dawn to Dawn, obviously. There's a ton, right? There's probably 8 shows, right, that I had started, and then I found out, I was like, oh, Lord of the Mysteries is great. I need to catch up on that. This Takopi's Original Sin or whatever it's called. Like, that seems great. I gotta, and it was just like sweet. I have such high hopes. I was so ambitious, and it just didn't work out. Right, my time to watch anime just torpedoed, and here I sit, and I finished My Dress Up Darling, but that's all. That's the only show from the season that I finished. Everything else just kind of fell by the wayside, unfortunately. Now, it's not going to disappear. I'm going to come back to it, right? And that's sort of part of what I'm going to talk about here today. But that's all I finished. My Dress Up Darling was great. I will be honest. I think I liked season 1 better, to be completely honest, which hurts a little bit because I've been really, really looking forward to season 2 ever since season 1 came out. And I think season 2 was really good. I did really like it. I think that it had the humor that I really wanted. It had the slice of life that I really wanted. It had just the kind of cozy vibes that I really wanted. It had all of the cosplay stuff and all of the, like, learning about cosplay culture, really, right? Like, going out to these events and it dove even deeper into those things, right? We learned more about how to create costumes and for various different kinds of characters, people who have more accessories and people who don't, people who, if you want to do, if a female cosplayer wants to play a male character and vice versa, how do those things work? How do people do those things? How do photos, right? There was like a whole episode dedicated to like photography and how that works for this kind of stuff. Like, it was great, and it was really fun to learn those things. At the core of this show, though, is the relationship between Gojo and Marion, and I really liked what we had. There were some great heartwarming moments. There was some moments where I was just like, okay, it's gonna happen, right? And then, there was, I think, more focus on the cosplay culture stuff and more focus on some other secondary characters, which was great. However, I did want a little bit more focus on those two and like how their relationship is changing and evolving throughout the show. We did get some, but I just wanted a little bit more, right? So I think that's really my only gripe with this is I wish I had a little bit more of those two because I just love their dynamic so much, and I can relate to it to an extent as well. I certainly see myself in that. So it was really great. I had a great time with it. I think it fulfilled a lot of the promises that I was hoping for. I just that one little piece, but overall, awesome. Highly recommend the show. I do want to catch up on these other things, and so that is the plan moving forward. Right, is here for now. Getting into the fall season, there's only a few things that I'm going to jump into because I want to leave the space and the time to catch up on some of this stuff from this past season because this was just a really stacked season. This is a really, really stacked season, and so the carryovers that I'm going to get back to, Dawn to Dawn season 2, obviously we have to catch up on, which I'm mostly caught up on anyway, right? I don't have too much more to kind of get current on that one, so that'll be pretty quick. Dr. Stone final season, that'll also be pretty quick. I'm mostly caught up there. And I believe they announced there's only going to be one more core of it in the future to kind of wrap the whole thing up, which is good news because I thought this was the last one. And I was really curious how they're going to wrap this up without it feeling really rushed and janky. So good news there. But I'll catch up on Dr. Stone as well. Gachi Akuta, I only watched the first episode of, but I was interested, so I do want to go further into that one. The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity, is that right? I'm so excited to watch that show. I am very, very excited. Man, everything about it, just the vibe of that. I mean, it's a romance show, right? So I imagine there will be comedy. There usually is in those shows, but it seems like there's going to be sort of like a somber note also. Maybe I'm wrong, but kind of anything, if you combine romance with like a melancholy kind of sad, I don't know. It always hits for me for whatever reason. Because then the happiness just shines even brighter, right? So I definitely want to watch that one. What else? Kaiju number 8 that I really liked the first season that I want to get into the second season. That was one that I just didn't even get a chance to start. Lord of the Mysteries, I would love to check out, but those are longer episodes too. They're all like 30, 35 minutes long, I think. So that one might get pushed aside. We'll see. But I hear it's really, really great. Takopi's Original Sin, I want to check out. And that's a shorter one too, so that one shouldn't be too bad. But I want to get to all of these. Am I going to wrap all of them up over this season? I hope so. I'm going to try my best because, like I said, I'm keeping the new fall shows lighter to allow the best chance of that happening. And so what are these new fall shows that we're going to talk about? By the way, if you want a deeper explanation of all those shows, you can check out my last anime update. There will be a playlist in the description of all my anime, or this will be part of the playlist of all my anime videos. So you can see my last sort of seasonal videos to see more description of those. I just don't want to, reiterate it for everybody who's already seen it. And then new fall shows. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 3. Just 3 of them. Keeping it to 3. I couldn't remember if it was 3 or 4, but it's just 3. One of them is the new Spy Family. I do absolutely love Spy Family, like so many other people do, right? It's such a fun premise with this little girl who can read minds, and the dad who is like, super spy, and mom who is like assassin, and then we have the dog, and just everybody has their own little thing, and we just see their interactions with each other are really what this show is about to me, right? It's like just the family dynamic, and it's sort of this sort of found family, sort of fake family in the beginning, and we see it, as that sort of evolves over time, or if it evolves over time, right? Do they end up having real feelings for one another, right? We don't know. And so just seeing their adventures is just so much fun. I loved both of the first seasons. I love the movie. Can't wait to see what happens in this third season. I always say I've never really wanted kids my whole life, but seeing Anya, I'm like, if I could have a kid like Anya, I think it'd be fun, right? So we'll check that one out for sure. Of course, the other one is the final season of My Hero Academia. Now, I seem to be a bit in the minority to where I have actually sort of preferred the last couple seasons over some of the early ones. Now, obviously, I love the first few seasons, right? I've really enjoyed the entirety of this show, but I think season 6 especially really stood out to me. That might be my favorite season. I'd have to rewatch it to kind of give you like a good ranking, but that might be my favorite season because it finally got really dark, and it finally had really, really big stakes that a world like this, I think, needs to make it feel more, real and heavy and realistic in some ways. Now, obviously, it's an anime and there's superheroes and whatever, right? So it's not going to be as realistic as the real world, but I think it just gives me a little bit more of that darker, like in-world realism that I wanted all along. And I was like, yes, this is amazing. Season 7, I think, went some really interesting places. In this last season, it's going to wrap it up. So I can't wait to see where it goes. Season 7 left off in a place that has me, of course, really interested. And I've heard from some manga readers that the ending left a little bit to be desired. Now, I don't know if I'll feel that way or not. I don't know if they'll change it for the anime compared to the manga. No, that happens sometimes. We'll see. But I've been watching this show for so long, and I'm really anticipating the ending and just how we're gonna feel about it, right? And it'll be fun to be there along the ride with everyone else watching it in real time. And then the third one is one that's just close to my heart because I've had this big resurgence of nostalgia for Digimon. Really randomly. I just sort of randomly heard about this new game that they were making, Time Stranger, and which is actually out now, I believe. And I wanted to play it so bad. I don't have the time right now, which drives me nuts. But I really wish I did, because I really want to play it. It looks amazing, and by all accounts, it is amazing. But that just kind of reignited this wave of nostalgia and love that I had for Digimon growing up. And I've seen, how many have I seen? The first 4 seasons, I think. So yeah, I saw the first 4 seasons. I've seen most of the Try movies. I saw the remake that they did in 2020 or whatever that was. There's a few of those sort of in the interim that I haven't seen, but there's a new series that they're starting out called Digimon beatbreak, right? Music theme, beatbreak. There we go. We made it. That I want to check that out. Why not? Right? I have the Digimon wave right now, and I just want to check it out. I don't know much about the premise. I don't know much about how it's going to be different from previous seasons. I mean, it seems like they all sort of do their own little, slightly different thing. And that's always kept the show feeling really refreshing to me. And this one, from what I've seen of the trailer, it looks like it's maybe geared towards less of a young audience than maybe some of those other recent seasons have. I think that's why I kind of fell off of it a little bit, is it started to just kind of feel like it was geared towards younger and younger kids, just like how, I feel like Pokemon's sort of like that. Yu-Gi-Oh! Certainly is like that. That the original few seasons were always my favorites of those kind of shows. And I think Digimon started to kind of feel like it was following that same pattern. Now, of course, Digimon's always been, it's kind of handled more mature themes, I think, than Pokemon did, for example, or, some of the later, the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Was very dark, right? But like the other shows, I think, were much less so, a little bit more younger audience, whatever. But Digimon was always tackling like some pretty heavy themes. So I'm really interested to see, now that we see, it seems to me like the Digidestined are a little bit older again, which is good. So we'll see. I really want to check it out. Hopefully it's good. And maybe it'll get me to go back and watch some of those other ones that I haven't seen. Like, what is it? Like Cross Wars, I think, or Ghost Game. There's a couple of them I haven't seen, but maybe we'll have to. But that's it, right? Just those 3 shows here for the fall. There's some other ones that I know, like the new One Punch Man, I think, is coming out. I'll watch it at some point. It's just not the highest priority. I like One Punch Man. I don't love it, right? So we'll check that out at some point. I know To Your Eternity, there's a new season that, again, well, I like it. I will come back, right? It's just not one of those, it's like the highest possible priority for me. That these 3 are, but I want to leave the rest of the space open to try to catch up on the stuff that I fell behind here from the summer. So that's what I got. Thanks for watching, anime people. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you liked the video, hit that thumbs up. Talk to me in the comments. What did you watch from the summer? What did you like? Hopefully you didn't fall behind as bad as I did, but what did you like? Please don't spoil anything, of course, for me or for others, but talk to me about that stuff. What are you excited for in the fall? What else are you checking out beyond these 3? Or maybe you don't even like these 3 and you're checking out just other stuff, right? That's awesome, right? To each their own. So would love to hear more about all of that. If you like the channel, consider subscribing. That would mean a lot to me. I always love seeing the community grow. You can see in the description of this video, there is a link to the free Discord that is book heavy, because that's predominantly what my channel is, but there are certainly sections in there where we can talk about anime, and I always love that so much. It's always really fun. So you can check that out. If you want to check out the Patreon, there is details for that below as well. Other than that, I think that wraps it up for today. So thanks for watching. Enjoy your anime here. Don't stress if you fall behind, right? It's all good. I'll see you next time.